Alright, we're gonna be doing a mid taper right here. Mid taper into curls. Let's get right into it.
Shout out to Forward Barber Supply Amarillo for the tool used in this video. If you need anything, check them out.
I like to set in a soft guideline, so I debulk with the 1.5. To set in our bald line, clipper closed. First notch right here is closed. I can go based off the bottom of the ear right here. We're just gonna set in soft guidelines. I'm barely flicking out. Behind that with our trimmer, going up to that line and picking it up. And to completely bald it out, we're gonna go in with our shaver. That's where I'm picking up the shaver right here. Kind of already fading as you're balding it out. So the shaver blended into the trimmer line blended into the clipper closed. So we're gonna set in our first guideline with our clipper open. On this clipper, we got one, 2, 3, 4, 5 notches. And I like to look at it as levels. First guideline, I'm gonna look at it as a level, a finger width. So that's our first level right here. Here's our first level. This is 0, middle of that line is 50, the top of that line is 100. Clipper closed is 0, halfway is 50, and clipper open is 100. I just went up 50% right here, and we're gonna be 50% with the clipper. Go clipper closed to knock out this bottom line right here. When you're taking out lines, utilize the corners. That way I just knock out that bottom guideline. I'm gonna be 100% again on the clipper, and I'm gonna be 100% here. You wanna understand how the guards work and what you're blending into, right? But you always work better when you got a system, right? So I'll put it in 0, blend that out, and with the number 1, blend that out. I'm gonna go with my 2 and blend it out, right? Set on our first guideline with the clipper open. Above that is the number 1 guard open. We're gonna go with our 2 guard open. So we understand how the guards blend into each other. I'm gonna go up with my 1 guard. So we set in with the 1 guard. If you know how to count, you're gonna be able to learn how to fade. And below that, half guard, right? 0.5. This is like a 100%, right? With our half guard at 100%, go up that first guideline 100%. My half guards as erase guards. This is gonna take the lines out. We're not setting in guidelines with this, we're taking them out. If I still see a dark line right here, I'll just go 1 notch down, so 75%, and just use my corners. And you can just easily see how it's blending right there. I'm not setting in lines, I'm taking it out. If you still see a dark line right here, go 50% and go 50% here. Just stay within that 50% here at this level. You wanna be 50% on your clipper. And 50% meaning halfway. All right, if we're halfway on this guideline, we're gonna be halfway with our clipper, taking that line out. Just see how easily that just blends in. I'm not guessing. I got a system in place and just following that system. On my clipper, I'm 25%. Gonna be 25% on this line right here. Not going past 25%, I'm just going up. If you see any dark spots right here at the very bottom, we're gonna be very bottom of that clipper, right? So if we're 0% here, we're gonna be 0%, or taking out that line, that bottom guideline. And it don't gotta be perfect, we still gotta edge it up, and we're still gonna detail after. So we're just gonna go with our 2 guard. And our 2 guard is gonna blend into the curls. I'm going off the shape of his head, so if it's going off like this, I'm going off the shape of his head, just like that. Just so it suits his head shape. And that's how you blend into the curls. So we set in our number 2 guard right here. Our half guards are gonna be our erase guards, right? Our blending guards. So to be 100% on this guideline, we're gonna be 100% on our clipper. You can see this little faint line right here, which is at 50%, and we're gonna be 50% on our clipper. And just use the corners to attack that guideline. Using my corners and attacking that line to blend it out. I was just saying, like, if you know how to count, you easily know how to fade. We just went in with our 1 guard, blended it out with our 0.5, 2 guard, and then blended it out with our 1.5 guard. That goes right into that. And still just using my corner of the blade right here to take that line out, right? We're just blending it in. And if you're just starting out, you can call this fade pretty good, right? It's decent enough. As soon as you edge it up, that's where you get the barber's eye and see things that you could touch up on, right? And when we set in our lines, I'm not pushing into his natural hairline, right? Check and see where the hairline stops. Stop right about here. You wanna give off natural, sharp lineups, because that's how it grows back the best. So I'm gonna set in my other line right here. So I'm not pushing it back, I'm just going off where his natural hairline stops. And notice how I'm combing out the hairs in the direction of the hairline. That edge up ain't going nowhere, you see what I mean? comb it out, touch it up. That way he has a smooth, crisp hairline no matter what he does to it. So here is where we go into the detailing part. We blended it out. The last guard we used was a 1.5, and what blends into the 1.5 is the 1 guard, right? The 1 guard open is basically a 1.5 closed. Now I'm just still utilizing my corners right here, and this is where you take that fade to another level, right? This is where you detail. My 1.5 guard I used, you can tell where it's darker, and that's where I'm going in, my 1 guard open, using my corners, point cutting into the dark spots, right? And you can listen to the clipper if it's cutting. And if you still see a line right here, go halfway, because that's halfway, pointing out those dark spots, right? Using my corner of the clipper, that just takes it to another level, right? This is called detailing. If you want to take your face to another level and detail it, close. And you can just see from this side to this side, the difference the detailing makes, right? Blend to another level, go back with your 0.5 guard, and still do the same thing, right? Corners of a blade going into those dark spots. And when you angle out your clipper, if I lay it flat right here, I'm gonna set in another guideline, right? But if I angle my clipper, my 0.5 guard can act as a number 1 guard or 1.5. All that's cutting is this part of the clipper. So I can go all the way up here and still detail like that, right? When I'm going back to detail, I'm angling it out and just using my corners. If that's not cutting anything, I'll just go back 1 notch down. If it's cutting, if it's not, then I go 1 notch down. And you can hear it cut a little bit. Detail it even more, go 1 notch down. I'm gonna just hit these dark spots right here. I'm gonna go 1 notch down, closed, pointing out these dark spots. If it stops cutting, then you know you just blended it out. If you can still hear it cutting, that's when you know you can still hit it up. And you can just see how difference detailing makes from just spend 5 minutes just going back and detailing it, right? I'm gonna just hit this line right here. I can see angling my clipper outwards. Oh, what's good, bro? How you doing? Man, hit that like button if you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends if you learned something.